How's it? Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm doing this, that's right, pared down. There's not going to be a lot of frill and silly stuff because I'm trying a different approach. You know, mostly it's because of ratings, and another factor is because of time to edit. So instead of adding all the frills, I'm just going to cut frills. And I lost a lot of subscribers and I can't figure out why. Maybe it's too silly. Maybe this whole news venue thing is boring. Maybe I said something about their favorite political people, whatever, on that. But hey, people will, it's like being canceled. I cautiously use that word because it's politically charged with a cuckoo bird frickin' angle of, never mind, fox, bad. And, but it's like being canceled when I'm not even successful. So I was trying to get a little bit more successful doing a variety stuff and they were getting more views and then boom, all of a sudden, kaboom, maybe it's just the time, maybe it's people don't have stuff. But my mom is in a care facility currently and will be for like a couple weeks. She's strengthening her legs so she can stand and move properly. It's a fall risk thing. And that's about as far as I'll go with that. But I'm not feeling bad for her in the sense that she's doing well. She's actually very healthy and alert. The doctors are saying it's not just me going, my mom, you know. And she's all there. It's just the leg has to be rehabbed to be stronger. It's like an ankle thing. Now, she seems to be okay in a nice facility way up on the mountain. There's a view. But I just thinking, you know, she's still away from her home. And she's still worried about other stuff, namely the person I'm keeping anonymous called the witch. And actually because of a narcissistic personality disorder and the amount of hatred, and it can get targeted at people. And I was a target for decades, so gosh, it is like being under a satanic hex. Now, I'm not saying that to be weird and shock value. I mean, that's on my honest assessment, and it sounds weird saying that. So this whole thing about witch, hex, this satanic witch, I don't care about, you know, worship crystals and trees. I don't give a crap. I know someone that's like Wiccan, whatever, but this is like satanic shit. So that one had some church stuff lately, so I'm questioning whether there was some stuff being conducted, as in, I swear it's gotta be ritualistic. I don't think it's like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, and stuff happens. There's something that's ritualistic behind it, and that's my assessment there. I'll stop because go on and on. So my mom is doing well. She's worried about that stuff and getting, you know, rooted for money and all that, but I'm just worried that she's away from it all. Now this, I'm trying to make it fast. I was thinking about not even posting, but I'm just gonna not give a F because things are getting tense. I'm getting a little worried. I don't have time to be just editing forever, you know, especially if I'm getting the only view is me. So subscribing doesn't cost anything, and it helps the channel. That's how YouTube works. It ranks people with this computer-generated algorithm, they call it. It's just like number crunching with, sometimes they, whatever. But if you like it, they try to make it more prominent. I tried to post this on Facebook and Twitter. And actually that's where I think I started losing. At first it bumped my numbers up, and then my subscribers went down. I don't know. I think it could have to be with the political race situation. And I can just say, damn them all to hell. I hate politicians in general more and more. When I see a good one, I'm just like, yeah, all right, man, try to keep up the good fight. 99.8% of them get corrupt with other people's money, politics. That's kind of my general view. Now, I have a lot of background in political science. I was part of my education thing, not to be bragging, but that's why I'm still stuck with news. And then in the education world, they want to keep students up with current events and be relevant to history, relevant to modern events, stuff like that. I say, damn them all to hell. They ruin, I mean, the recession and politics within that. It's you know, they don't have good teachers. It's not that they're lacking willing teachers. It's the system is screwed, and it's money also. And never mind, that's another. So I have like a lot of resentments on different things and aspects. I wish I could be resentment free. Oh gee, I'm 18 years sober. Oh yeah, that video got no views, thanks. Yeah, next time drunk driver kills somebody, don't look at me. There's people who speed that kill people. So the news is filled fraught with death and destruction. And I was trying to make it a little bit more cheery to look at, because I think we should stay up with current events, you know? Would you rather be blindsided by evil people and harmful and destructive people in the world, or just go, hey everybody, I'm so Pollyanna, everything's wonderful? I used to mock those people, but there's something to being really positive attitude for your own personal interior self. But when you want for situational awareness around yourself, be aware of the dangers. Be knowledgeable about how close to the cliff you might be standing. So lucky they diverted the debt ceiling crisis, which I'll just blatantly say the GOP created, not the debt, but the ceiling crisis they created, so they could be the ones that come to the rescue. After, of course, they try to portray that they brought the other side to their knees. It's big investors and big money that spoke to them, and they're just like going, because if they allow that to happen, the big buck entities would lose big bucks. And then I would think, you know, just like let's be like Las Vegas mobsters, they pick those bones out of the desert kind of stuff. I mean, there's like that's what I think. And Biden's just like sitting back going, I told you, fool. And now that's averted, and or whatever. Tired of saying that guy's name. So anyways, those little Republicans are going, oh look what I did. Everyone's trying to get into the head of the class with the Republican Party because it's presidential election. Win at all costs, which means the American public gets to, you know, their teeth sunk into the cement. Okay, see? Politics, it's bad. So usually I do a little, yeah, but I'm not doing a real thing. This is the news today. It's planned to fix what's there. This is a story about the Dillingham estate on the island of Oahu. Correct pronunciation, I guess. I always say Oahu, but it's like Oahu. It just rubs me wrong when people are insistent on correct pronunciation when it comes to Hawaiian words. It's like, good God, relax. Oahu, this island with Honolulu, this big giant, it's like 2,700 acres. Dillingham Ranch was sold. Wow. Actually a big deal. I'm placing that over there without a sound effect. Yeah, I'm gonna try to not use sound effects. Dillingham Estate. Now, if you remember, if you watched, thank you, my human sacrifice in the Kapiolani Park, the Heiau doesn't exist. The La Pietra School for Girls exists on that exact spot. So Gee, I wonder if that place is haunted with human sacrifices on that ground. Spook 101. It's another story. But anyway, that heiau was disassembled by Queen Emma after a certain thing that happened in Hawaiian history. You know, this kapu system. It's like, you know, gone are the old ways. Don't worship Lono and Kukailimoku, but, you know, or Christianity involvement. And then Dillingham bought that land, making an estate called La Pietra after La Pietra in Italy. Now, that La Pietra, that was Dillingham's place on this side, Honolulu side, had what is now Kapiolani Park. They used it like a polo field. And they had polo horse stalls on that thing too. This land sale is the same Dillingham. So all that stuff initially was 1880, whatever, or 70. But now a fellow named Peter Nolan, let's go look at the news without sound effects. So this Dillingham's Ranch is the new owner. So this guy, Nolan, whose dad was a dairy farmer, so he is saying, I just want to continue it, you know, and fix it up as a ranch. So it's going to be a working ranch again, and there it is. So it's good news for the previous owner. Well, it's good news because the previous owner was going to develop. And Peter Nolan's like, I'm not a developer, which is good. He's going to fix it up and it's going to be like it is. It's often used for, it's rented out like big weddings and stuff like that. Here's a view of the whatever. So let's not spend too much time on that because there's other junk which is like horrible news, of course, because news is always horrible. That's what it is. It's horror. It's like the parade of horror show. Yeah, I'm just gonna, and there's the back of the day, an old picture from Hawaii. This one's 62, involving Fred Flintstone getting blazed. Okay, boring. It's not fun. And then there's this with laws and vigilantes in Haiti. Oh, here it is. Okay, that's Peter Nolan. It's going to be the ranch here. This thing, see how it is like a venue for events. You can rent it out. 10,000 acres. It's got a rich history and equine activity. So back over there, I mean, this place is huge. It go. I mean, not even. I can't even. I don't even know how big this is. This goes up to the North Shore, to Waianae. Waianae Range. Where is that? Yeah, so everyone likes to rent it out, like the film industry and all this kind of stuff. And if there's anything interesting more about that, that's about the size of that. Okay, well, all right, there it is, Dillingham Ranch. Not the thing I talked about with the Dillingham Estate. That's now a school for girls. That's just the school for girls. Ukraine is still being bombed by these psycho madman who I guess wants to take over the world and go back to the Soviet Union. Speaking of that, yeah, and I think I will speak of that because since we're just going to do news. Okay, so Russia and China. Now this is me. I didn't hear this. You know, it's just you're just looking at stuff on the news. Think, look, and think. You go, China and Russia are kind of in cahoots. They are talking to each other. China, industrial capitalism is their number one. They want to be the biggest capitalist thing going on. But they're still kind of run by a kind of the communist regime that what do you call it? The police state behind the country is still behind China. And you got Russia kind of doing the same thing. They slap a president in there, but it's still kind of like old Soviet KGB style. They're just like, now it's Putin, President Putin, the dictator, militant dictator, and oligarchs like super rich. Which, I don't know, kind of what America's heading towards if we don't watch our voting. But Putin is rich in oil, the poor and everything else, so they sell to China. It's a match made in heaven. We blew it. We should have made friends with Russia back when they fell apart under Gorbachev. But no. So Putin and China are in connection. Now China has a thing with Taiwan. They say it's theirs. Taiwan says, no, we're independent. There's, made in Taiwan, a lot of economy, so money. So when they do the trade route thing and they start going, hey, we're going to support Taiwan being independent, China now hates America. Now that's where those boats are coming in. And so some boat went right across the bow of a military, U.S. military, who in the U.S. military is over there going, it says in the international zone that this is international free trade, boop, 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 with their ship. So they're poking the bear, as if to say, but this is poking the panda bear. And the other ship went in front of him, so now there's like pretty big stink talk between the two. Back to the non-nuclear news. Ukrainians are keeping up the pressure. This guy's obviously threw a bomb and it blew up. And mortar or whatever. And this guy. Okay. Isle Man. Oh, I didn't know he was from he was from the islands. Okay, Clifford Walters, that's this guy here. Where is he from? Isle Man who moved bison. Wait. Walters of Hawaii. I don't know if this big island or the state. But anyways, he got busted. And he has to pay $500 fine, $500 community service payment to Yellowstone National Park Forever Wildlife Protection Fund, $30 special assessment, $10 processing fee from the U.S. Office of Determining the District of Wyoming. And Walter's 78 here saw a bison calf fall into the water going, "Google, Google, goggle, goggle, I'm gonna drown. I got caught in the river." So he jumped out of his car. His wife's going, "Walter?" And Walter went down there and saved the bison from the watery drowning death, thinking he's saving some type of little moo calf bison. Then they arrested him and everything, and they euthanized the calf. That's right. He's like, "I was just saving it. It would have drowned if I didn't save it." It's like, yeah, well, it's cut off from its herd, and it's just going to cause roadway problems. So they kind of gassed the little thing. Thanks, Yellowstone. Don't F with Mother Nature or Yellowstone. Park policy. So in Waikiki, 5 people died from fentanyl overdosing. And then 4 of them were resuscitated and are just hospitalized, but 1 person still stayed dead. So it's called the latest killer drug, fentanyl. And that was in Waikiki. And of course there's basketball, but I don't care. There's a lot of paddling going around, but I don't have any. I kind of keep it out. So in political cartoon, there's AI, the big shark, and this guy is like jobs, right? People with their jobs. What a time for a lifeguard shortage, because jobs are going to be eaten up like Jaws by artificial intelligence. So when you're done slapping your knee and having a belly laugh, let's look on. Powerful photo, buildup of debt. So these things, I don't know, I should probably be careful. I'm kind of leaning towards the Democratic because there's still some sane people there. So I learned some stuff here. Just a second here. Go back here. I learned some stuff. A lot of the crazy QAnon crap went into the GOP base. I don't know, like Tea Party, and now it's like Freedom Caucus, and now it's like QGOP, I call it. And one thing I hear is news. We have to have a healthy news source. Like real, what's going on news. Screw the commentary. Just tell me what the hell's going on. You can have a little commentary, but everyone's focusing on commentaries, and these spin doctoring things and talking heads and spin doctoring is out of the whack. But then there's counterproductive stuff when people say mainstream media. Mainstream media. It's bought and sold by corporations and they select what you're going to say. They're brainwashing you with mainstream. So mainstream has turned into a negative word. Oh, mainstream. Don't avoid mainstream. But regular news, I call it mainstream news. There's only so much time to broadcast, and there's only so much events you can stick in there. They can't, you know, this like stuff keeps happening. There's only so much stuff they can present. So stuff gets left out very easily. So just because the favorite stuff, you know, that's one thing I'm learning doing this. I was trying to do them fast, but now I'm trying to not to care about the time so much. Sorry, you can click, I mean, geez, I don't know what the hell to say. But the debt, if you look at these, this is definitely QGOP spin, because it's like stuff you hear on Fox in a sense. Wake up America, the end is near unless you stop spending money you don't have. So the spending fear with the recent debt ceiling. Next one here, heed Thomas's warning. This guy's conservative, but he's really QE. I mean, he's just informed and thoughtful voting. It's just like, we need new leaders, as if to say, get rid of these guys and off. And then there's someone that's like, let's say, I guess he would say leftist, but it's not leftist. He's just, Trump just surrounded himself with criminals. So he's just going, hey, look, every single person that Trump was directly connected to in his presidency is like convicted tax fraud, bank fraud, obstruction of congressional investigation. It just goes on and on, a smorgasbord of fraudulent conduct. And he's saying birds of a feather flock together. So is that leftist? It's just, gosh. But we're going to look at, what is this one we have learned? Here, this one. We have learned despite vastness of ignorance. Now, this is an interesting thing. According to Carl Zimmer of the New York Times, there appears to be an ongoing debate among biologists as to what were the first animals to evolve from unicellular life. Single cell. Used to be single cell, now it's unicellular. However, whether, quote, modern comb jellies or sponges have the most in common with the first animals on Earth, how amazing it is to have our pockets or purses access to more information about life on Earth and the cosmos than the most brilliant scientists ever knew who lived just decades ago. It is within reason to surmise that every species living anywhere always will be infinitely more ignorant than knowledgeable about the nature of reality, as they will never have the capacity to know how many life forms and, quote, universes there have been or will be. With that as a given, it is astonishing what our species has been able to discover about our place in nature and the cosmos, and scientists who work towards advancing that knowledge deserve to be celebrated. Robert Griffin Makiki. Thank you, Robert, for pulling a blow for science and saying, screw you with the smartphone doesn't make you smart. What happens when your battery runs out on your smartphone? Are you now dumb? Okay, it's gonna... Didn't you like the happy-go-lucky Mongoose Max News? This one too. Pit bulls could learn from obedience school. Some useful and or desirable things in our society are potentially lethal when mishandled. To drive, one must get a permit and then a license. One must pay for insurance, registration, and safety check, ensuring the vehicle will be operated safely. To obtain a gun, I took classes on safe use and storage responsibilities and the legal liabilities of gun ownership. Then I got a permit and paid $400 background check and psychological clearance. He's also bragging that he's packing a gun. Pit bulls are smart, loyal, and all-around great dogs. They also are 50 pounds of solid muscle with famously powerful jaws and, when mishandled, potentially lethal. But any fool can get one. No permit required, no check to see if a person can take care for a pit bull, no classes informing the owner of liability and or related criminal charges. A pit bull doesn't have to take classes and graduate from obedience school. Why not? Joseph Bussin Kailua. Good call. Thank you, Joseph Bussin, for your letters. Anyways, that's it. There's some there, and that's kind of news on. It's probably long, so but whatever. At least I did some whatever sunrises. So there you go. Aloha.